VMs need around 4 gig of operating system itself and 1 or 2 gig to run the app VM itself, or it needs maybe a couple of minutes to start the VM. My Docker or containers run maybe a couple of MBs, 10 MB, 20 MB of operating system with its own entire application. The memory and CPU they take, you can do it to maybe 1/10 of the single CPU, maybe 100th part of the CPU. You can limit that. Memory, you can say, oh, 1 MB, 2 MB, depending on how big your application is. You can say 1 gig as well, or you can go and limit it and say whatever your application demands. The boot up, it takes seconds to start. So that's what my containers. But containers I can run, and within App Enterprise, I run maybe within a machine, I can run 15, 20, 30 containers, and like that, different machines. So I have one machine running 20 containers, another machine running 20 containers, another machine running containers, 20 containers. Now, I need someone to manage these containers, and that is where my Kubernetes comes into picture. So there are other container management like Docker Swarm, Mesos, but Kubernetes is is the leader now to manage these containers. And this is where you see Docker for containers, which is container runtime, and Kubernetes is for Kubernetes management. I got distracted. A lot of payments are coming, so guys, sorry for that distraction. Big congratulations, guys, those who have made payment, you will get these bonuses. I'm sorry for distraction. So this is Docker and Kubernetes. Now these Docker and Kubernetes are so famous. Now every cloud vendor has started implementing Docker and Kubernetes, be it Amazon, which is EKS, ECS, we'll see. Azure, AKS, Oracle, Google, they are all implementing. And that Docker and Kubernetes on implementation of AWS has 3 implementations: ECS, EKS, and Fargate. So ECS is a container runtime, which is proprietary to AWS. Now, whatever Kubernetes you have implementation of that on AWS, that's EKS. Now, both of these ECS and EKS behind the scene has virtual machines, EC2s, which is nothing but Elastic Cloud Compute, or think of them as a virtual machine behind the scene, and they're running containers on top of that. Whereas Fargate is a serverless version, which means you don't manage any servers. There is no virtual machines. Behind the scene, AWS is going to manage them, but you don't care about what machines you're running. All you need to do is manage your containers. So that's serverless Fargate. So these are the 3 implementations. Now people ask in our training program, this is one you're going to get as a bonus. So when people ask, hey, which one should I pick? Now it depends now what kind of a workload you're going to run. Now, if you're going to run on a workload for a shorter durations, which are going to spin off, again, bringing, starting, deleting, creating, then you might good for pay-as-you-go model, Fargate, which is serverless. If you have an on-premise Kubernetes implementation, you want to do something same, you might go for EKS. So now here, the pricing will be slightly different. So depending on, you don't pay anything, you only pay for worker node. So if I'm running 2 virtual machines, whatever is the virtual machine cost, I'll be paying for that. But I'm now logged into the vendor locking. This is my ECS, which is proprietary to AWS. If I want to move out of this, I might have to deploy my applications. This is same Kubernetes, but I'm paying per month $144 for my cluster, which is managed by Kubernetes. Rest all will be worker nodes. Or I'll be paying on top of that worker node. Here I'm going pay as you go. It's slightly more expensive, but if you look at, we have a calculation which says if you have that many of hours of workload, you probably will be better on this or this or that. So we are going to give you a bonus which covers these 3 implementations. So this is a Kubernetes architecture where you have master node, which is managing my multiple worker nodes. So you have my machine 1, machine 2, machine 2, 3. In these machines, I'm running container, and in this machine, I'm running 15, 20 containers. In this machine, I'm running 15, 20 containers. In this machine, I'm running 15, 20, 25, whatever number of containers I want to run. So my microservices are running on containers, and all these containers are managed by this master here. And there's some configurations here. This is my configuration store, and it's all centrally managing. All my applications are running on these container here. My applications are running on here, on these container here. Now, similar to that, implementation of this Kubernetes on cloud is where you have AWS cloud. You have my control plane, we call, or master node. This is this node. This is managed by AWS for you. And this is where you still have access to the console. You can see them, but you're not managing the master node machines. AWS is going to manage for you. And then you have worker nodes where you can decide as many workers nodes as you want, and then deploy your applications as a container on these. And then you need to have the familiarity with networking and these machines that you deploy, and on top of that container deploy. You might run a load balancer, so users are coming from load balancer onto these application running on these containers, which are running on top of machines. So you can better utilize your resources. You can scale up quickly. If your containers fail, your master node will automatically restart for them. It's going to manage. You tell them, I want to run 5 copies of this. So if you want to say, you can say here and say, hey, I want to run 5 copies of passenger management always. And then I want to run 2 copies of billing. But if my passenger management load hits 80%, shoot up another 5 containers. You can do all this. You can tell all of these to this buddy here, this control plane. This is what you can tell. It will do it automatically for you. Same thing is here. It will do automatically for you. So that's a beauty. So how you implement? You create a master node. Then you create a worker nodes. And then you connect your EKS from your application or from your machine or from AWS console. We call shell, cloud shell you get, and then you deploy applications. So that's the whole workflow. And this is what we're going to teach you inside the program, where we configure registry. So registry is nothing but images or a template through which also has your application inbuilt, those templates which will spin off or which will start your containers. So that, where do you store them? How do you create them? All those about container registry, we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to do ECS and configure registry. We're going to talk about and deploy Kubernetes cluster. We'll launch the worker node. We'll deploy application on Kubernetes cluster. We'll also configure something called as ingress controller, which is a load balancer. We'll configure advanced routing tables. Again, I'm not going to go and worry you about all these advanced. They are very simple if you know. If you don't know, they're difficult, but we have the program which will teach you all these things easily and simply. There's something called as Helm chart. Helm chart is like a package manager if you're coming from Unix background. How do you deploy the applications on the Kubernetes cluster using Helm charts? We're going to deploy 2 applications, expose them onto the application, and configure a load balancer in front of that, which is nothing but an ingress controller. How do you provision the persistent volumes? We're going to cover all this as well. And then all this EKS Fargate cluster will deploy all these applications for you. So this is the bonus. We do a separate program, 497. You can get it. You're going to get it absolutely free for those who have registered while we are on the call. And it will be next probably 10-15 minutes more. And so this is all the program we go and do. We create an AWS account. We install an Ubuntu machine on AWS. We install Docker, create images. We create ECR. We create an EKS. We create clusters. So a comprehensive program, as I said, for you, you will learn a lot on here. And this is how it looks like inside the program for you as a bonus here. These are the labs, step-by-step hands-on lab with the videos as well. Everything will be available. And as I said, the success stories to inspire. As I said, nothing is the flop. It's actually the program that works with success stories. So it's Gargi. Great day cleared. This is for Kubernetes program though. But this is Kubernetes again, but she's working as a DevSecOps and Kubernetes. So let me take 1 or 2 questions and then we'll move on. A lot of guys, some guys might be, it's so value for money. If you look at, it's probably around how many? $1.50 a day, if you look at. Great. Okay, great. Okay, brilliant. Now, guys, those a lot of guys have already joined. Welcome to the program. But some guys have said if that it's expensive. And if you think it's expensive, first of all, look at and compare that 19 or 2,000 pounds. Or if you're from US, the cheapest I could find was of a live interactive sessions, $9.95. And that too, if you look at someone says India, it's 4 days, 66, close to like $900,000. And that took 3 days, which is 24 hours. We give 1 year on-job support. So compare it with, if you look at ours is $597, and compare it with the salaries if you're going to earn $140,000 salary per year, or the amount of money you're going to make by doing this. So if you look at salary in UK, or if you're from India, you can easily recover that cost in whatever amount of time, and then you can earn the amount of money you're going to make on top of that. Now, if you're still doubtful, let me share my story, and I've told it a number of times. Some of you guys already heard it. If you've heard it, maybe time to hear one final time, and maybe that might help you to decide whether you want to go for the program or not go for the program. This is me in 2020. I left my corporate job in early 2020 with $40,000 per month, and I said enough is enough. I had enough money was not driving me anymore. I left on $40,000 per month. It's not 4,000, $40,000 per month. I left my job in London. I was working as a freelancer, 1,200 pounds a day multiplied by 24 days, and then maybe a couple of one or two side gig or side project work as well. $40,000 per month. And now this is not to brag or not to show off that look how much I'm earning. This is not at all. And in fact, a lot of my friends also earn like that, or a lot of some of you guys in the US are already earning like that. But this is to show you what's possibility, what's possible, how I managed to achieve that one. So when I realized this, hey, this is something we can do, and we started teaching. I started doing a lot of teaching what I was learning, and I was able to showcase that to a couple of guys who are experienced. So if I said, oh, if I can do it, I can show it to others. Maybe it's time to now go full-fledged into this and show it. And I'm not saying that I did it overnight. I'm promising that everyone will get it, but this is the possibility. In fact, but that's not how I started. In fact, 21 years back, I started with 8,000 rupees back in India. In 8,000 rupees, which is close to maybe $100 a month. And first 4 years were very, very tough. In fact, 5 years were very tough. 5th year is when I got the mantra. So I moved to in UK in 2004. Came for via a company called Satyam. That company is no more right now. But I was working for a client, Imperial College. It's one of the renowned colleges. They're doing a lot of work into research in medical science, Imperial College London. And I was working as an apps DBA, and with a little bit of their security, slightly here and there, their portal I was managing, Imperial College portal, with a little bit of security part. And I saw a contract wrote, at that time my salary was 2,400 pounds a month. I saw a contract rate job of 450 pounds a day. So I said, wow, 450 pounds a day. And if you do 24 days in a month, because you only pick it for working days, I said, oh, it's probably around more than $10,000. Or sorry, 10,000 pounds, which was more than my 4 times of my salary. So this is what I should do. So I looked at the job spec and said, oh, I need to learn something. And I saw it was Oracle Access Manager at the time, which was Identity and Access Management Security product. So I went to the Oracle site and I saw a training that was 3,000 pounds training. And I come from, that was in Reading, which is not very far from the place I live, 40 miles. So I said, I can do the training, but 3,000, it's more than my month's salary. And I come from India and or came from India at that time, and so, oh, it's more than my month's salary. I can do it on my own. And a lot of guys might begin with and say, oh, it's expensive. Let's begin with on my own. And I'm no different. This is how I started. And I'm not shy in saying that. That's what I thought initially. So I started learning. I used to spend hours, a couple of hours every day in the evening, weekends, 4 or 5 hours. I spent a lot of time. 1 month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed, and this was February or March. And when I started thinking about it, and then came October, I was failed one interview, second interview. I was getting something, but not where someone says, oh, here's a job, we liked you. In October, my wife's birthday, and I said, enough is enough. You spent so much time into this. Why don't you try that training, which you were looking at? Instead of spending money, we used to go out and eat dinners, and a lot of money we used to spend like that. Why don't you try this out? Worst case, you lose a month's salary or slightly more. And was still nervous. I spent that money in October, I think first week or maybe at 10th, 11th, I don't remember exactly. I did that course within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I got not only contract, like the contract, I think it was 450, 475. I don't remember exactly, but I remember till date, the day I got the job, I went into the restaurant, we went out for dinner. That was a big, big day for me, 450 or 475, roughly around that amount. It was a big day for me. And since then, there is no looking back. Since then, there's no looking back. So next year in 2006, I was looking at, next couple of months, I was wondering what mistake I did in the previous year. And I reflected and realized how stupid I was in 2005 in that year. In order to save 3,000 pounds, I lost 72,000 or around 875,000 pounds. Because if I wish I could have done this training a little bit earlier, I would have earned maybe 10,000 pounds per month over the next 8 months, 80,000. So I would have earned that much money, but I was nervous in spending 3,000, and I lost 80,000 pounds just to save 3,000 pounds. Okay, even if you discount maybe my salary, still probably around 50, 60,000 pounds I lost on that year. And when I looked on that way, I realized, oh, I got a mantra. And this is where, since then, I spent a lot of money. I learned identity and access management integration with Fusion Middleware. I did another course. I did EBS integration, e-business suite integration with identity management. And as cloud was picking up, I spent a lot of money to Oracle Cloud, because at the time I was not working on AWS or Azure. I was working on Oracle. So I specifically went to on the US to did this training with a couple of product management team, paid a lot of money to Oracle just because I knew that I can recover that cost very, very quickly. And I got that money back very quickly. We did a lot of big projects, migration project for UK and a couple of US projects. And then when I started cloud, I realized, oh, wow, AWS and Azure is much bigger. And then I started learning AWS and Azure. And that's where I engaged or met experts like Aryan and other experts on Azure and cloud. So I paid a lot of money, unbelievable money you can think of, but I've got unbelievable money as well in response back. So one thing or one mantra I learned was that, hey, how stupid I was to save 3,000 pounds. I lost 80,000, around that much amount. So make sure you're not making that mistake. If you're thinking about cost, think about how much money you're losing by not doing. That's one question. Or second thing you need to think of is how quickly I recover my cost. And nowadays I only see when I have to invest something, I've spent a lot of money onto my this program on these things, my team and everyone. I always look back how much cost I'm going to do by not doing this, or how much will it cost me by not doing it, or how quickly I can recover my investment back. And that's how I see it. When I told this story a couple of years back onto my students, and this is what and that's what people can then correlate and understand. And that is what I hear again and again. Once someone has gone through the program that get the result, that is what Pablo was saying. I had a strong reservation regarding the price, but took a leap of faith. And I found that course was way, way more than what being charged. Looking back, I wonder why I didn't take the decision earlier. I could have learned and earned much quicker. Since then, I've enrolled in 4 courses, part of Oracle courses, a couple of other cloud courses as well. And that's another reason sometimes it sounds too good to be true. Why you're doing, how can you manage 597 with such a big team? How can it be a cost effective for you? Because we know that if we can provide you value, you're going to come back again for another something in future, because we have given you the value and you've earned that money easily and quickly. So that's another one for me. So anyone who still thinks that price is higher, let me know. I would love to hear your questions as well. A lot of you guys are here, so let me know if there's any question I want to cover, or should I go on and continue here. There's a couple of other things people have heard again and again, so I thought probably I'll cover them. Similar, anything that you want me to cover first, or should I continue, or any questions you want? Let me see if there's any questions. Okay, guys, those who are not planning to go for the class, you can leave now. We are going to give you the replay. Is going to get it, but I want to cover as well. Did I lose my voice audio?
No, sir, you're audible.
Oh, brilliant. So Saji is saying if we register now, we can lock in the discounted price. Correct? That's correct, Saji. So you can lock the current price and you can start later. If you want to start later, you just tell my team your 1 year support will start from the time where you get this. Obi saying any discount? No, as I said, Obi, can someone my team reach out to Obi, please? Okay. Okay, great. Thanks. Altamis, can my team help as well? Okay, yeah, team will help you. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Okay. Okay, so now another thing is, if you have said, oh, I can learn on my own, and a lot of guys come and say, hey, there are a lot of Udemy courses, and I can learn from Udemy, or I can do this from here, I can do the Google and do it. And I can understand that But what I've realized is there is an information overload. How many of you guys have tried from Udemy and worked? Let me know in the chat window, because it didn't work for me. You can imagine every sort of course which I bought it and given to my team, because what I do is we pick up the best part of each of the courses which are available, and then we put it into. But I was a little bit surprised, not even a single course was done 100%. And not even a single person from my team was able to complete and get certified onto that. So I'm keen on say whether it has worked for you, because it didn't work for me. So let me know in the chat window, did it work for you? How many of you guys worked for you? Answer is no, no, no. Okay, yes, I used it somewhat, but never got a result. Yes, absolutely spot on. Some guys are saying for practitioner part, yes, might be, but when you go, what happens is as you go on to the advanced courses like this, or AWS Solution Architect or a DevOps professional, there are a lot of hands-on lab you need to do. And when you're performing the hands-on lab, if you're stuck at some point, you need someone to answer you quickly. Or you might Google it and you might get an answer that time. But then suddenly you hit another problem on some lab or other lab, you might need some other help as well. Or you need someone to answer your questions quickly. Otherwise, and if you get delayed in getting answers to these, this is the mantra of you getting away, and you might try out Google it once, twice, and then you give up, and then finally. So you might try out, do once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and there'll be a lot of questions that will come to your mind again and again. And that's why the WhatsApp group will help you on questions like these, that you can ask questions on. So this is what I did, and when I looked into, Googled into, and see, oh, is it just my team who is not utilizing these courses or what? So I was surprised and shocked and saying, on an average, 70% of the students even never start the course, and those who start only complete 30% of the content. So if you thought it can work for you, good luck, try it out. Otherwise, if it worked, you wouldn't be here. It didn't work for me. And I've tried those as well. It's complicated, confusing, there's no support. And I need something to move quickly. So either you can go and learn your own on your own, which is complicated, confusing, and and that's something which I've myself, nothing to be shy and feel bad, but I've done myself and I know how painful it is. Or you can go and learn from experts, which is simple and strategic, where you know what you're learning is right. You have support handy with you, and that is what you'll help. There are other questions are coming. Let me answer them. There is a few more questions are coming, and if I've missed, guys, stay tuned. I'll be answering everyone's question. Krunal is saying, hey, I'm completely new to IT field and does not have any knowledge about AWS. I don't know whether it's for me or not, but I'm eager to enter IT field. Will I be able to understand this thing? Absolutely, Krunal. We have a lot of guys. In fact, I think CK is one of them in the program, and I have a lot of such students who are from non-IT background. I'm going to give you another bonus class, which is DevOps for beginners and as well as cloud for beginners. You're going to get both of these as a part of this. So everything is covered. As I said, that's why I said comprehensive program. You tell me what knowledge you need, we are going to give you, because we want you to succeed. Because when you're going to succeed, when you're going to succeed, you will get a result for sure. Now, if anyone is needing help, let my team know. They're answering. They will be happy to call. Just want to I think Abdul, my team will help you on answering all the questions. Abdul, I'm not sure if I understood your question. You didn't mention the course type. How come it is coming? I'm not sure what you mean by how come it's coming. Let me know. Sridhar is saying, is EKS course is a bonus if I join DevOps? That's correct. So you're going to get that EKS bonus free worth 497. Sridhar, that's right. If you join now while we are here. Ashish saying, can I get a DevOps for beginners and cloud for beginners too? Already registered for the DevOps. Yes, Ashish, you're going to get it. No worries. All those who have registered now or in past, they get all the bonuses that we add. So yes, you're going to get it, Ashish. Don't worry. You're going to get DevOps for beginners and as well as cloud beginners. Don't worry. You'll get all those. Ashish, you have already registered. Welcome. And Kamla, I think there's one more. Sridhar, you've registered. You'll get those as well. There's few more. Kamla, you will also get it. All those who have registered, you will get all of this, guys. Nothing to worry about. Okay. So, and still have questions, keep asking those questions. I'm going to answer all of them. Now, a lot of guys say, hey, I don't have time. And this is, I totally understand, but we trust me, we all have 24 hours. I have 24 hours. You have 24 hours. Everyone in the program have 24 hours. And trust me, everyone who comes, 90% of the guys or 80% of the guys are very busy. And I'm not saying those who come or have remaining 10% or 20% are not busy. They have their own life as well. We all have same time, but we need to make sure that we take time out for investing ourselves. Now I'll tell you the real story. 2000, I moved into contracting. I was very happy for first couple of years, 2006, 2007, and why I learned the another course a few years later was because I was very, once you get a contracting rate, I said, oh, I'm drawing good. There's no worries. And then in 2008, there is a financial meltdown, and I think there is a lot of banks had problems, and I saw the contracts were dried up, and that's what made me nervous. Luckily, I didn't lose my job because my skills were very hot in the market, and I picked up, and then I realized, oh, I need to make sure that I need to keep myself updated regularly. And that's when I picked up a Fusion middleware integration with identity management, e-business suite integration with identity management, because I knew if I don't upgrade myself, my existing job is not going to stay for lifelong. I have to, and that's a part and parcel of we in IT. Every couple of years, you have to make sure you upgrade yourself. And that is big challenge, especially for those who have 8 years or 6 or 8 or years higher, especially for those who are middle management, senior management. You need to make sure that you update yourself. So make sure you take time out. And if you don't have time, that's what this portal came. Initially, we used to have only the weekly live interactive sessions. A lot of guys said, oh, I can't do it on Sunday, or I can't do it Saturday, or I don't have, what if I miss a topic? What if I'm not available on that day? So that's why we created a well-done videos inside the portal, which are short, crisp videos. You can learn at your own pace. Also, that's the reason we give you unlimited retake of the program. Also, that's the reason we give you the recording of the live sessions. So if whenever you are free, you can jump on the sessions if required. You can watch the replay. You can learn from the self-study. So this is what Shailesh liked when he came and he saw the program after going through. The time was biggest challenge for me. He's based in US, and with big, he is managing, he's very senior, in fact, much senior than me. So big team, and my own workplace, my own delivery to deliver. I didn't have any time to study. So videos and portal ability to learn at my own pace is the best I can think of. And now I usually learn while commute and jump on sessions whenever my busy schedule allows. You have 60 days money back guarantee. As I said, all you need to do is, we are so confident about the quality, all you need to do is show us a proof that you did the activity guide. Forget about attending the sessions. Forget about doing anything else. You did the activity guide, because we know that when you perform the activity guide, you're going to get results. Now, as I said, I'm big on giving results, and we've added it in past, these things based on what the responses we are getting from users. So I think I'm getting still too many questions. So one question is, can I join later? Yes, absolutely, you can join later. But as I said, the bonus which I said about is not going to be available after a while. The EKS, Elastic Community Service bonus, will not be available for you after this class. And then on these prices, these are first come, first serve, first 50 guys only, guys. Big congratulations for those who have joined. And there's another bonus which you'll be getting. As I said, for those who have already joined, you're going to get this bonus automatically for you. So DevOps bonus 2 is DevOps Foundation, which I said. So there's a DevOps, AWS DevOps will be a lot of jobs, but also there's a DevOps, which is like some companies, not every companies want to implement DevOps on cloud, or they're still on-premise and they're slowly migrating to cloud. So they also have tools like Git, Jenkins, or other Ansible, Terraform. So this is where there's another program we do, which is a DevOps Foundation, which is from a foundation point of view, DevOps, where we talk about basics of DevOps. So there is another which is from a DevOps Institute, which is a program that we do. That program has basics of DevOps, DevOps introduction, principle, DevOps and framework. There are multiple frameworks which I'm going to show you in a minute. What is the culture of DevOps, DevOps roles and considerations, practices, automation. How do you adapt the DevOps principle? And then These are not required from the certification point of view, but our students in past asked and say, hey, I'm doing this. And this is why I said, we constantly keep improving these programs. So a lot of guys came and say, hey, in my workplace, we are using AWS, but we're also using Git. Or some guys say, we are not using AWS for repository, but I'm using Git for repository, but my CI/CD automation is using this. So in that, you learn the open source tools like Git, or Jenkins, which is a CI/CD tool, or Docker or Ansible. Ansible is a configuration management and infrastructure build. Terraform, which is a Terraform build. And these are all from keeping beginners in mind. Terraform for beginners, Ansible for beginners, Docker for beginners, CI/CD Jenkins for beginners with their labs. And then there's another exam, which is DevOps Foundation. If you're going for AWS certification, I wouldn't recommend. You can still go for it, this exam, but I would say rather go for AWS DevOps certification, or you can pick one of these. So this program you're going to get absolutely free for those who already registered this. So this is where we'll be talking about, again, same short videos. There'll be live interactive session as well. And we have another instructor who teaches this, Subu. His name is Subu, and he will be talking about those as well. You'll be getting it as a basics. So we'll be starting for beginners, keeping basics in mind. This is what I was talking about. So we used to do the DevOps, AWS DevOps, and some guys were saying, oh, I also want to do very how it's being done without cloud. So that is where this will come into handy, how it's being done without cloud, because DevOps is not just for cloud, it's also on-premise. You can, or like without cloud as well. So what are the DevOps principles? What is Raki model? What is RCA? And there is a lot of frameworks, I think, are mentioned at the start. Those frameworks, Blue and Canary deployment, or sorry, Blue, Green, and Canary deployments. So CI/CD, continuous integration, delivery, testing, all those things. So testing as well, continuous testing for testers. A couple of guys were asking about testers. And these are DevOps framework. I was talking about Agile framework, Scrum framework, SAP framework, ITIL, Lean, Spotify, Waterfall, Kanban. These all frameworks, because these are kind of a things people might ask in interview. Which framework did you work, or what are the frameworks, commonly known frameworks? Come handy for theoretical knowledge point of view. Then what is rugged DevOps, DevSecOps, DevChatOps, golden circle of DevOps, all those things. So this is the program which you'll be getting, what we do absolutely free, which is on DevOps Foundation. And these are some of the guys who got the results on DevOps Institute: Arun, Archana, Rahul. As I said, what we bring is the proven methodology, step-by-step proven methodology. So you have two options: one single payment of $497 or 6 monthly payment of $97 each. Okay, anyone further questions? Any more? Brilliant. Altamis is saying, I'm ready to get started. I signed up today. Brilliant, Altamis. Welcome to the program. You'll be getting all these bonuses, so nothing to worry about. Okay. Can someone help Rohit, please? K. Sanya is saying, when will the bonus course be added to the program already registered? Is someone in my team who can tell, Simran, do you know if this is all, or is Neha around? They should already be there, if I'm not wrong. But if not, don't worry. You team should help you on. Do you know, Simran, when these will be added, or should this happen automatically? No?
Yes, sir, it will happen automatically. Just checking for this.
No problem. Okay, don't worry, guys. If you don't see, if you already registered for the program, if you don't see, don't worry. Come in WhatsApp group. My team will be there. You should also have received a link on how can you create a ticket. All you need to do is drop an email to that particular ID, email address. It will automatically open a ticket. So you're covered all as well. Not to worry about. Great. Okay, for those, yes, please check my bonuses. Don't worry, okay, those who have registered, someone will give you a call in next 72 hours or to 96 hours to make sure that you got everything, and you'll get an email. So we'll be covering you on, and you will be having the like ticketing system. You can track, my team will be there. They will help you tomorrow. Not a problem. Ashish will help you as well. Don't worry about it. Brilliant. Okay, any question that you want to make, or should I continue going and say there's one more bonus, which is bonus 3, which is case study and project work. This is a lot of guys come and say, hey, I don't have any experience, or I am going to learn, but what am I going to show on because companies look for work experience, or companies look for what have you done. And this is where the case study in project work will come into picture. And this is we have recently added based on the feedback, or the not previous recently, but for the current batch which we are doing right now. So we are going to do, how you're going to do, we're going to do a fictitious company and end-to-end DevOps cycle, which we'll be giving. I think there are two, might be three. I'll ask, and more than happy to add more if that helps. And again, we don't want you to overwhelm yourself with too much information. All we want is to give you enough information. We have plenty. We can give you on and on. I can go on and on and on. I have so much content, but I don't want to overload information. I don't want information overload. I want you to get maximum results in the shortest possible time. And for that, if you need more things, you just ask. So this is what being asked in past case study and project work. We are going to give that as another bonus. We'll be covering whole end-to-end pipeline, and we're going to give a couple of projects, one using Git, and Jenkins, another using AWS, and we're going to do some project work as well as a part of this program. So you're going to get that, put that in your CV as an project work. And a lot of guys also say that and say, hey, I don't have an experience. What will I, companies ask for experience. Now, when companies say that I want experienced guy, they want someone who has done these things. They don't want someone to teach them, or they don't want to teach their student. So they want someone to do it or have done it in practical, like something similar to the production or something similar to live environment. And the comprehensive program will help you to do that. So we are going to do a lot of labs, and these labs are written in a way so that they understand, explain your concepts, and these are actually things we're going to do. For example, canary deployment, or sorry, the blue-green deployment that we saw. The only difference will be now the code, which anyway you're not going to develop that code. Your developer will give you the code. So once you get a code from developer, we're going to give you a dummy code to use. So the two URLs that we saw, the content you saw, the second one is we updated the code itself of the PHP code. But you can have Node.js. We have a lab on Node.js. We are going to deploy or use SDK to create, and which is a simple application. You don't need to be a coder or developer for that. So like that, we have a lot of work inside that. Now, another thing, so that's third bonus, and the final bonus is interview questions. As I said, these bonuses will not be available for long. A lot of you guys have already joined. Brilliant guys, welcome. Desmark, welcome to the program. And there's another one, Shrish. Welcome to the program. I think I saw a couple of questions from you, Shrish. Welcome. So fourth is bonus about interview questions and CV review. This is we added. We used to do it separately. We stopped doing this. We only do it for those who join while we are in the live. So as I said to you earlier, CV is very, very important. A lot of guys, what they do is they say, oh, I sent my CV, I'm not getting any call. And I can bet you get 10 jobs. Most of the guys I know and interact, before I speak to them in our class as well, they send one CV to every 10 jobs. Now think of, you're going for a shopping, okay, and you have a requirement to buy maybe a dress. Will you go for a vegetable shop? Will you go for a maybe a car dealer shop? Which shop will you go? You'll go place where you get dresses. Something similar, if company is asking, if you're getting 10 jobs, if you send same CV on 10 jobs, it will not cut it. Especially the first page. I'm not asking you to fake anything. I'm not asking you to lie anything. But first page should be the emphasis on how your skills, what you know, can help your customer. And by all means, put all those remaining skills you have, but there's no point in writing a Word or Excel sheet or something or Java if your profile doesn't include Java. Why too much information, as I always say, is also wrong or bad. If you stuff your CV, people sometimes think, oh, if I put everything, I'll get a better chances of job. No. What that does is it removes the focus that an employer needs from that CV. If you want, by all means, put those skills later, maybe second page, third page, or fourth page are there for. But first page should always be about focusing what you have done in past that is customer demanding, and what customer demanding will come from the job description. So hence, it's very important for you to review the job description very well and see what you can know or what you don't know. And again, employers will always write maybe 100 things in the job description. And as long as you know 50 to 60% of that, your good job is good. Don't fake anything. Don't write wrong. I was speaking to someone on earlier, and they said, "Oh, I want to write my 5 years experience, even though I've not worked on." I said, "No, someone will easily catch. If the person is good, they will easily catch, and it will be negative. In your view, it will be negative, saying that if you don't know this much in 5 years experience, what will you do?" So you can easily say that, "Hey, I have this much. I've started learning this. I was doing this. I've started learning this. I've just done 2 months, but I've done these project works, and I'm very serious, and I can do this, this, this. If in 2 months I can do this much, imagine how much more I can do in 3 months, 6 months. And then give me one opportunity. Don't worry. I don't care about first job, and that's what I'll explain you that thing as well. How when I moved into identity management and I moved back on when I moved to cloud, what I did. I'll explain you that as well. So don't worry about on your first job about the money. You just say that focus on work and say, look, if I'm here to do the good work, because if I do the good work, you'll pay, no doubt about it. And then you do the work, and that's how you get a good job. So this is what we help you in that. Now coming to that, some guys then say, oh, so we'll be getting the CV review, and we also have interview questions in the program. So those who go for DevOps interviews, DevOps type job, AWS DevOps, we give you the interview questions, and we're constantly improving, and we speak to the guys who go for interviews, and then we add those questions inside the program. So you'll get all of that free. Just talking about, some guys say, what kind of a money I'll get? Will I get a lot of money or something? And one thing I want to tell you is that if you follow money, money will never come. If you follow work, if you follow quality work, if you follow on giving results, money will follow automatically. And that's the mantra I've learned on by doing that. So I never focused on, of course, you need to ask money and you need to negotiate money. But if you start with money, employer will not like it. If you start with work and everything, and then money should come in the end. If you see in this program as well, we never started, oh, this is a program money or something. We gave you a lot of value, and a lot of registrations, a lot of you guys paid is because we gave you value first and then ask for the money. And that's what you should be doing. Give value first and then ask for the money. And if you're coming from a different background, cloud is the future. DevOps is the future. Implementation of DevOps and cloud, Docker, Kubernetes, this is where future. And for that, if you need to take a step back to move 2 steps forward, always ready to take that step back. And I'll tell you my real story. I think 2013 and 14, or maybe I don't remember exact year, maybe 2016, 17, or 2014, 15, when Oracle introduced their first cloud. I was working on identity management, and I was drawing, I think, around close to £1,000 a day contract rate. And I was thinking, I started realizing that, hey, I need to start moving to cloud because industry is moving towards cloud. And that was early infancy, 2015, 16. Or for me, 2015, 16 is when I started moving into cloud. So I said, oh, everyone was doing contracting rate was around 600, 700 pounds a day at the time. And I was on £1,000. And I was thinking, should I go for £1,000 or should I leave my £1,000 job, a day job, to go for £600 a day job? And then I realized, oh, I was thinking, and I was speaking to someone, and they said, those who have gone and say, if you are earning this much now, there's a bigger prospect for you. Whatever you've learned, put that knowledge, you can earn much more than this. So I took a rate cut of, I think, £650 a day. I took a road cut, I remember now, for migration project. We did it for 3 months. We migrated one of the biggest implementation in UK for one of the big government organization. I think around 70 terabytes of data from on-premise to cloud. And the next project was I moved straight back to 1,000 and then 1,200. And 1,200 was the highest I could go. So if you have to take a step back, do that. Because if that's going to help you, if you think it's going to help you in future, and that's what we did a lot of work on cloud identity management, migrations, a lot of work onto these things as well. So this is again CV review. Sorry, I dragged down to something totally unrelated thing. So these are the total 4 things you get. You get Kubernetes on AWS. Oh, okay, sorry, I don't know why it's not marked as cross, but this is free, guys, as well. Kubernetes on AWS, EKS, DevOps, and case study, and this CV review. So you have 2 options: 1 single payment of $497 or 6 monthly payment of $97 each. Now, couple of questions. Timing, as I said, morning 6 or 7, depending on daylight. PST, 9 or 10. EST, 2 to 6 GMT, and 7:30 to 11:30 IST. If you miss a session, nothing to worry about. You have unlimited retake. If you can't, you can go through the recorded session. We give you an opportunity to retake this program unlimited times for over the next 1 year. Now, if you can't start, because a lot of guys are part of my other programs, and if you're doing that, finish that, your 1 year will start from the time you say, I'm ready to take this program now. So you can lock this price and get a higher paid price. Oh, sorry, not a higher paid price. Lock this price on this amount, and then you can come back whenever you're ready. What guarantee? As I said, we are 100% money back guarantee. If you think it was not valuable, forget about attended session. All you need is do the labs. If you did the lab, you can show the proof of that work you did the lab. Just give us 26 hours. We'll double check all the screenshots and we'll refund you. How will I practice? You're going to give a step-by-step account procedure to free account. That's how all our guys do it. That's how we do as I do as well. How long it will take? Roughly around 8 to 12 weeks. We think, okay, now we are going to do, instead of doing one session per week, we are going to do Saturday, Sunday. So we'll finish all the theory part, practical part. Once all this theory part is done, practical part is done, we'll give you the project work for you to achieve. We'll give you a lot of time to practice and then prepare for the exam. And then we'll have these bonus classes, doubt removal classes as well. And if you need any help, we'll be there. So, but you don't need to wait 8 weeks or 12 weeks. If you are someone who wants to do it quicker, everything is available on the portal for you. So you can do it in next 2 weeks, roughly around, but at least give yourself 2 weeks. If you're a fresher, give a little bit more time. Or if you're new, give yourself a little bit more time. Now, never compete with others. If you think, oh, this person has done this, put a blinders. That's what I always say, for especially someone who's new, run your own race and don't stress it. Cloud is a journey. Cloud is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Unite is like a marathon. So I'm going to open up for the question answers. As I said, what is the prerequisite? Everything is covered for you. As I said, even practitioner, you will be able to do this practitioner exam. If you come for this, you should be able to clear the foundation. This is Tolu. I said, join K2 Academy, learn cloud, and then in live training, projects, and architecting AWS on AWS, and all these things. So you will learn able to do foundation anyway. If you want, you can do the developer. Now, if you want any other track like solution architect, I'll let my team know. We probably might be working on SysOps as well, but SysOps, before you go for SysOps, we want to make sure that you're good in solution architect, because a lot of things we'll learn here in this part if you're going from operations ops guy as well. But if you're buying it with AWS Solution DevOps, which is the program AWS DevOps, you get just in $297, and this is to get to help if you want to do them together. Now, with that means you will get another additional 1 year on-job support. So you'll get, instead of 1 year, you get 2 years on-job support, and you'll get